Fixez.com doing another disassemble for you today. Looks like we're going to be working on an LG Optimus L9. Before we get started with that disassemble, let's go ahead and review the suggested tools. A small Phillips screwdriver, plastic opening tools, a spudger, a heat gun, or a blow dryer. Today's Optimus does not have a cracked screen or non-working LCD, but we will show you the steps necessary for disassembly, removal, and reinstallation of a display assembly. To get started with our disassembly, let's take off the back portion of the case, locate the notch in the bottom portion of the phone, and pry it open with a plastic opening tool. With the rear cover removed, the battery is easily lifted out of the phone. At this time, you also want to remove your SIM card and micro SD cards. There's a series of Phillips screws that secure the rear portion of the phone's case. Let's use our small Phillips screwdriver to remove these screws. With all of our screws removed, we can look towards the bottom of the phone and lift the speaker assembly. The rear portion of our plastic case is next, which we can begin prying at its clips all the way around the perimeter of the phone with our plastic opening tool. At this time, you can remove the volume and power buttons from the phone so we can keep track of them for reassembly. Our rear-facing camera is going to be the first component out of the phone. Pry up gently on its connector and lift it on out. Let's now work towards removing our motherboard from the phone. We have a series of 5 connections and 1 antenna plug. Let's start with the antenna plug in the bottom corner of the motherboard. Next is our dock port connector, followed by our LCD connector, our front-facing camera, our touchscreen connector, and last, our headphone jack connector. With all of our ribbon cables unplugged and our antenna unplugged, we should be able to navigate the motherboard up from the phone. And let's not forget about our earpiece speaker, which needs to be pried up along with the motherboard as it is soldered to the board. With the motherboard out of the phone, we can now work towards separating our display assembly from the plastic screen. As we mentioned at the beginning of the video, our Optimus does not have a cracked screen. Trying to remove the screen without it being broken first might cause damage and is not suggested. We will show you the steps necessary to go ahead and begin to peel back our display assembly though. Starting with our heat gun or blow dryer, you want to heat up the adhesive that is securing the display assembly to the plastic frame. 1 to 2 minutes should suffice. To begin separation, we then use our small Phillips screwdriver through the lens hole for our front-facing camera, holding the plastic frame and pushing at the rear of the touchscreen through this small lens. With the separation of our touchscreen begun at the upper corner where our front-facing camera is, we then bring in our plastic opening tool to continue the separation around the perimeter of the touchscreen until it is completely separated from our plastic frame. With your new replacement display in place, we can now begin the reassembly of our Optimus L9, starting with our motherboard. Maneuvering it into place around all of our connections. With the motherboard in place, we can go ahead and set our earpiece speaker back into its housing, and then begin connecting all of our ribbon wires back to the motherboard. 5 total and 1 antenna plug. The next piece is going to be our volume and power buttons. Let's not forget to install these before putting on our rear case. Reinstall our rear-facing camera. Don't forget to plug it in. The rear portion of our plastic case, we can now reinstall that by clipping it into place. Let's begin putting on our Phillips screws that secure the back case in place. Install our speaker assembly. And put in our last 3 screws that secure that speaker assembly. Go ahead and put the battery back into the phone. Put the rear cover back on the phone. And power it on to check for full functionality. There you have it, another successful disassemble and repair by Fixez.com. All of the replacement parts and tools that you've seen in this video today are available at www.fixez.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.